I may have said this before, but one of our greatest challenges at Everyday Food is trying to come up with recipes that use very few ingredients, but the flavor is really, really big. And one of the things that we fall back on again and again are these really strong, really delicious grating cheeses like Pecorino and Parmesan cheese. Because they're so hard, when you grate them, you're not even getting that many calories. So it's sort of a win-win situation. And today I'm using grated Pecorino in a breading for pork chops. I'm using 1/3 of a cup, add that to 3/4 of a cup of panko, and you can totally use pre-grated Pecorino for this. If you wanted to grate your own, you probably would use a little bit more. You could totally use Parm too. If you were using Parm, use about 1/2 a cup. It doesn't have quite the strength of flavor. Just a little bit of pepper, a little bit of salt, not too much because remember, Pecorino is really salty. That's another thing that it does is add salty, flavory, savoriness. Salty, flavory, savory. Bet you never heard that before. Whisk that together. Then you have your savory deliciousness coating. Then I'm gonna season 1/2 cup of flour with some salt and pepper. Same thing, whisk it together. And then 2 large eggs, whisk those in a pie plate. You can see I have 3 pie plates here. You may not have 3 pie plates at home, and that's okay. You can do the dry ingredients on plates. It's totally fine. I just like to use the pie plates, and I have them, so I use them. And then we're using what we like to call here SBP, or standard breading procedure. SBP, a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. We're ready to SBP. Are you ready to SBP? We don't do it that much because it does require frying, and people are just like, oh, I don't want to fry that much. Fry today because you're going to be happy. Season your pork with a little bit of salt on both sides. This breading would be equally delicious on chicken cutlets, so feel free to use this on pretty much anything that you want to bread. Just make sure that your cutlets are the right thickness, no thicker than 1/2 inch. The first step is coating your meat in flour. The flour will dry off your meat, making it so that the egg will stick. Shake off the excess flour, then into the egg. The egg allows the breadcrumbs to stick. I want you guys to know that I have tried every variation on this, and using all 3 is the absolute best. But if you must, you can skip the flour step. Doesn't get quite as brown though, and then set it aside. Now you can cook them. Everything is prepped. All right. So what you want to do here is, yes, you want to fry. You may not want to, but you're going to be happy you did when you're done. I think it's all up here, the dislike of frying. My sister-in-law, she thinks she hates fried food, but it's so delicious. How can you hate on it? Just don't eat it that much, okay? Deal? Take a nonstick skillet, add 1/4 cup of olive oil. If you like canola oil, you can use that. The olive oil is a little healthier, but use whatever oil you want. But I am making a salad dressing with the olive oil, so it's nice to have on hand. Let it get hot. Just take one of your little breadcrumbs and drop it in the oil. Make sure that it's ready. I can tell that it is, though, because it's starting to sizzle really quickly. Now you can add your pork chops. As many as you can fit in the skillet at once. Be careful. I would say use about a medium-high heat, not too high, because if you go too high, then yeah, it'll burn on the outside before it's done on the inside. I might be able to get all of them in there at the same time. What do you think about that? Easy peasy. Should take about 2 minutes per side, give or take. You want them nice and golden brown on the outside and obviously cooked through on the inside. While you're waiting for them to cook, you can make yourself a salad. Keep an eye though. Cut some tomatoes in half. I'm gonna do my lid cutting tomato trick because we haven't done it in a while. Put your tomatoes in the top of a quart container. Cover with a second lid right on top. Cut straight through and they'll all get cut in half. Just make sure your knife is really sharp. You guys are gonna be surprised. One of the best tricks I learned all year. What do you think about that? Like magic. Add those to some greens. I'm using arugula, but any kind of green that you want. A little bit of lemon juice, because I like a lemon vinaigrette. Olive oil. And by the way, you can call it a vinaigrette, even if it doesn't have vinegar in it. Does that make sense? Should I call it a lemonette from now on? I think it's time to turn my pork chops already, people. Carefully. Oh yeah, baby. Look how beautiful. Probably should wash your tongs in between so that you're not using your raw meat tongs. Those look fantastic. Just fantastic. Some salt and pepper. And now this salad is gonna get some shavings of the pecorino. The advantage that you have if you buy chunks of pecorino or Parmesan is that you have a lot more ways that you can use it. You can grate it yourself and you can use it in the coating like I did, or you can shave it. Just take a vegetable peeler and then you create nice shavings, which are delicious. You could certainly just sprinkle a little bit of your grated pecorino or parm if you were using that. But look at those elegant little curls. They sort of fancify any kind of salad. And you want your dinners to feel special because then they're more fun to eat. It may not make it taste better, but it makes it feel like a better experience. So do those little extra special things for yourself and see how you feel. And then you'll feel good. I'm gonna check on my pork chops. All right, time to remove the pork. Nice and golden on both sides. Nice and firm, that means it's cooked through. So I'm gonna take them out and drain them on some paper towels. You'll notice that almost all the oil is still in the pan, which is great because you don't want to think about eating all that oil, do you? And so you don't. Take a delicious golden pork chop. Oh my gosh, I can't wait. I was gonna sprinkle this with a little salt, but I seasoned so well along the way that I don't think I'm going to. I'm just gonna serve it with my salad. Maybe if you want to, you can add a little bit more shaved cheese. Keep this properly stored in your refrigerator and it should last up to 2 months, so it's worthwhile getting a nice block. And there you have restaurant-worthy dinner made at home, but better because you made it yourself. Fancy, fancy.